Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today is RPGADay, day 20, and the question is, which game mechanic inspires your play the most? Make sure you head on over to RPGjuice.com, where you can get caught up on the latest videos, the latest news, and blog posts from Juice himself. Right now, I'm really into 5th edition. I've been into 5th edition pretty heavily for 4 years. Another game I really like is Dragon Age and Fantasy Age by Green Ronin. But I wouldn't say mechanics usually inspire a lot within me. However, I will say, for example, right now the Pathfinder playtest is out. There are some mechanics that are intriguing to me. I was having a conversation with Antoine and Michael from Ask a Pathfinder, I believe is the question, or is the channel. Sorry, I'm really tired. But we were talking about resonance and how they're working that into the rules right now, and how you only have so much resonance per day, and that applies to potions and every type of magic item, it seems. Even like a bag of holding uses resonance. And this inspired me to... In fact, the whole rule set, it sounds like, has... Because I haven't read it, but it sounds like there's a lot of things in it that are inspiring some discussions about mechanics, and I really enjoy talking about that. In fact, I love talking about different mechanics and tweaking them and how to do them differently. I don't do a lot of homebrew rules in my games, but I'm always open to trying them. And the resonance thing sounds really cool for certain aspects of the game. However, I don't like it in theory with scrolls, wands, potions, a bag of holding, for example. I don't like it for those things. But I think it's cool in the sense of, hey, you get this much resonance per day, or magic points that you can use per day, and you can use them for the ability within your sword. Maybe you can only turn your sword on, the flaming sword, on like 3 times a day. That's basically 3 combats, or maybe you can only use the feather falling feature of the armor twice per day, whatever, because that's how much resonance you have. Once you use it on the armor, you can't use the sword anymore, Excuse me. I like the idea of it on things like that. I don't like it, again, when it comes to, hey, you can only drink 3 healing potions per day. I think that's lame. What I think would make more sense is having a hard and fast blanket rule about magical healing. And the reason is because a lot of people, their gripe with Pathfinder originally was that you can use a 10 charge wand of healing and use it 10 times to get to max life, and then create a whole nother wand of magical healing. And, same thing with potions. You could just sip, potion after potion. Now, I like the idea of the amount of potions you can drink per day being affiliated with your constitution modifier. And the reason is because if you try to suck down 5 potions in a day, maybe it's too much liquid and you can't, once you hit the +3 con mod, you physically can't do anymore. You drink it, you're going to throw up. It's just too much. Or something like that. Or you could have a hard and fast rule that, hey, for every wound in combat, you can only take a healing once for it. However, so say you've been hit twice, it's based on the last wound. So it's 4 rounds of combat. Second round in, I get hit, I drink a potion, right? Or I take a wand of healing, or even someone casts a spell of healing on me. Great. Okay, I've taken that healing spell. I can't take another healing spell, even if I'm not full, until I get hit again. If I get hit again, then I can take another healing wand or a spell. If combat's over, and I haven't been healed since I've been hit, I can only take one healing spell or wand or whatever. I think something like that, and again, I'd have to work on the wording of it. I think something like that would solve the issue. Do I think that would make the game more fun? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Probably not. Depends on your play style. It would definitely make it more deadly. It would make players use higher level spells for healing more frequently. It would, I think, make you use your potions and your wands more frequently, because you're not going to hoard them in hopes that, when you're really far down on your hit points, here, let's drink a bunch of potions, or hey, let's just heal you with these 7 charges of cure wounds. I think my idea there needs some work, but that's the big takeaway right now for me from the Pathfinder playtest. There's other things that I like to play with. For example, the death save mechanic in 5th edition. When you're at 0 hit points, you drop, and then you make you make death saves. I don't like how that's been done. I've done videos on that on my Facebook group. I believe I may have posted them here on my channel too. But yeah, and in fact, tomorrow is Dice Mechanic Appeals to You. Anyways, I guess we'll talk about this then. So the thing about death saves is I don't think it's fun when you're down in 5th edition. In fact, I think it really sucks. Because waiting your turn, sometimes up to 30 minutes if you have like a 5 or 6 person group and people aren't real fast, waiting 30 minutes for your turn just to make a death save sucks. And then you have to do it all over again. You could be sitting for up to an hour, before you're either dead and making a new character, or alive and still at 0 hit points. So it's something I don't like about 5th edition. And my solution to it that I pitched is that when you hit 0 hit points, you're not down unconscious. You're basically considered critical. You're making death saves every turn, but you can still, before you do your turn, or actually at the end of your turn, you do the death save. But you get to do your action. You can move, you can attack, whatever. The thing about this that a lot of people didn't like is they told me, now you're more likely to live. I actually think you're more likely to die. And because I think a lot of people are going to choose to still attack. And if you choose to still attack, you're going to get hit. And if you get hit, that's a failed death save. If you get hit by 2 things, that's 2 death saves that you fail. Right there, just because you're standing still. Because I know a lot of DMs, when you drop, their monsters move to somebody else. And, the ones that don't do that basically kill you because you take, from 1 hit, you take 2 failed death saves. And so you're dead if that happens twice. And so I think if you're conscious but considered critical or bleeding out, you have an option. You can retreat and try to seek cover or heal yourself or whatever. If you're choosing to attack, you can do that. You might save the party by doing this. You might drop something. I would consider this kind of like going out in a blaze of glory. You're bleeding profusely. This reminds me of Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, as he's taking arrows, or not Aragorn, Boromir, right? Boromir taking arrows, but he's still fighting orcs. A lot of movies do this, where a guy's like in critical, he's fallen, but he's still fighting. He's basically dead already, but he's still fighting. I like that idea. I think it's a very cinematic visual, and I think if you're in that death save mode, doing these things, still fighting, can be very heroic. That's when a player has to decide, am I going to die fighting, or am I going to risk dying behind a rock like a coward? And I think that's awesome. It's a lot of role play opportunity with this, because it depends on what your character's like. You could play up your character's strong suits. Like maybe they are just a heroic person who will never flee combat, based on a certain monster or whatever. And so again, I really like this idea. So that's something I like to do. I like to discuss mechanics and tweaking them. I haven't tried these yet, but it's something I'm open to doing. And in fact, I wanted to start a Hoard of the Dragon Queen game on this channel, and I was considering trying out the death save mechanic altered to my idea. So anyways, that's it. That is how game mechanics inspire my play the most, but it's mostly me coming up with ideas based on mechanics. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hammer that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. This is Master of the Game. I am Juice. Game on.